Hello everybody, it's time for some math enrichment with your old pal Root Beer. So today I thought we'd start off a brand new series of videos. We're going to be covering the Canadian Senior Mathematics Contest. Okay, it's different than the intermediate. Anyone in high school or I guess lower can write this contest, the Senior Math Contest. It's targeted, I believe, at 11th grade and 12th grade. So you can expect to see things like maybe there's some trigonometry in there, or the use of functions in a more interesting way. But not really familiar with the content of this particular paper right now. We're going to be going through the 2011 paper, because that's when the contest started. They began the senior and the intermediate in 2011. If you're interested in, if you're younger, if you're not grade 11 or 12 or grade 10, stuff like that, if you're younger, you might want to try the intermediate math contest, which is aimed at 9th and 10th grade. But either way, if you want to take a look at the senior paper, it's going to be harder questions, more of a challenge. And let's take a look at the contest now. So, put out by the Csmc. We got 2 hours to do this contest. Of course, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know I take more than 2 hours. I take more than any of the allotted time to write contests, but that's because I write out full solutions and I try and explain to you guys my reasoning. So this was the very first paper, the very first of the senior paper. There have been several since. It's divided into 2 parts. Part A, you just need your final answer. And if you have a copy of the booklet, if you've ever written the contest before, you'll know there are little light bulb questions where you just need the final answer. And so you just put it in. If you write, you get 5 marks. If not, you get no marks. If you show your work and you're wrong, you can get part marks. And that's part A. Now B part, there's only 3 questions this time, but they're worth more. They're 10 marks. They're going to be harder questions, and we need final answers. We need full solutions. We need to write out, we need to justify what we're doing. If we state a formula, we need to prove why that formula might be correct. Like a formula relative to the question. You don't need to prove something like n times n plus 1 over 2 is the sum of the numbers 1 to n. That's not what they're talking about when they say justify what you're doing. But yeah, marks are awarded for completeness, clarity, and style. You can get a correct solution and poorly presented. Like if there's casework and you spend the time to write out all 100 cases of a particular thing, you could get the right answer, but you wrote out 100 cases. That's kind of inelegant. So definitely elegance and the way you look at the problem and how you choose to solve it by brute force or by some mathematical technique, that can factor into your marks in Part B. But we're only going to do 1 question per video, so we won't get to Part B for a little while. Let's take a look at Part A. Remember, Part A, we just need the final answer. So question 1, determine the value of, and we're given just an expression here, 2 to the 4 times 1 plus a half plus 1 over 2 squared plus 1 over 3 to the 2 to the 3 plus 1 over 2 to the 4. Okay. We just need a final answer, so we can probably plug this into our calculator, but let's take a closer look at it. We'll expand it a little bit, and instead of adding up some fractions, we'll be adding up some natural numbers. So 2 to the 4 plus 1 over 2, which is really just 2 to the 1, plus 1 over 2 squared plus 1 over 2 to the 3 plus 1 over 2 to the 4. Well, we can expand this out and bring the factor of 2 to the 4 into each little part. So 2 to the 4 times 1, that's just 2 to the 4. We have 2 to the 4 over 2 plus 2 to the 4 over 2 squared. So we're going to be dividing exponents with the same base. And when I have, a to the b over a to the c, it just becomes a to the b minus c. So 2 to the 4 divided by 2 to the 1, that's 2 to the 4 minus 1. 2 to the 4 over 2 to the 2, that's 2 to the 4 minus 2. and we get 2 to the 4 minus 3, and then 2 to the 4 minus 4. Well, we can simplify this a little bit. 2 to the 4 plus 2 to the 3 plus 2 to the 2 plus 2 to the 1 plus 2 to the 0. Now we can actually just start writing these out. This is 16. This is going to be 8. This is 4, 2, and this is 1. Now we could get our calculator together, or we could realize that this is just going to be 1 less than the next power of 2. Either or. Lots of different ways to do these questions. But the important thing is we're writing out just a little bit for this question, so if we did something wrong, we can at least get part marks. But we say that 31 is our final answer. We added it up on our calculator. And that concludes question number 1, a fairly simple question. Just straightforward, plug it into your calculator. Calculators are allowed, right? Calculators are permitted as long as they're non-programmable. Well, I never learned those programmable calculators anyway, so we're all set. In fact, the calculator I use is a Texas Instruments. It's one I've had since university. So, yeah, my calculator would certainly be permitted. If you practice these questions, and you really, really ought to try these contests before you watch me do these videos, I probably should have mentioned that. It's always best to practice them and try them under contest conditions. So the 2-hour time limit, the non-programmable calculator, try those things. That's the best way to practice, and then you can read the solutions online or watch these videos. So yeah, before you click on the video for question number 2 in part A, you might want to sit down and try the contest. I'm sorry, I really should have said that at the start of this video. You can log on to the CEMC website. I will put a link in the description. Past contests, and just go for the CSMC, the Canadian Senior Mathematics Competition. And yeah, try the contest first. Try it and see if you can do it under 2 hours. See if you can do the Part A questions, the Part B questions. And then when you come to these videos and watch me do them and hear me think aloud and hear me state my reasoning, you can sort of glean some of the process. You can learn how you might think about certain questions, because there's a lot of different categories of questions. There's game theory questions, there's geometry style questions. There are different ways to think about each, and so that's something you can learn from these videos. You can also just, if you get stuck, you might find a new approach by watching one of these videos or reading the solutions online. Again, the same website will have solutions presented as well. But you can read through those, or you can come and see a lively character like myself go through these contests one question at a time. Well, that concludes question 1. Please try the contest questions before the next video. But either way, I will see you guys then. So, yeah, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you for question number 2.